Welcome everyone to the 7th round of the Super Chess Classic 2026. We have Praggnanandhaa entering in along with his mother and second Vaibhav Suri. And today Prag takes on Fabiano Caruana, who is here with his second Oparin and his girlfriend. They are coming in. Fabi is 1 point behind the leader. The game is about to begin. Prag has the white pieces and it's going to be interesting because Prag also is on 3.5. So is Fabi. We have the guest of honor making the first move and ready to go. Prag, what's his first move going to be? He plays pawn to d4. And Caruana now plays his pawn to d5. Praggnanandhaa goes for pawn to c4. We have e6, Queen's Gambit declined. Knight comes out to f3. Knight f6 and knight to c3 played. And now Fabi decides to play the Ragozin with bishop to b4. This leads to a very interesting and exciting game. Let's look at the middle portion of the game and what transpired. So here Prag went for queen a4 check, knight c6 defending the bishop. Bishop d2 by Fabi takes. e3 now capturing the pawn is the idea. Castles takes. Bishop d6. Fabi is aiming for e5 and he plays it, and Prag takes and now plays this very exciting move, long castle, putting the rook opposite the queen. The queen comes to e7, bishop d3, rook d8, and now e4 with the idea of f4 and e5. Black goes c5, Prag plays f4, and this entire idea with c5 took Fabi, you can look at the clock, he had 1 hour 4 minutes, he took 15 minutes to play it, and now after takes, in comes the move bishop g4, first attacking the rook, rook e1, c4, an excellent pawn sacrifice, because after takes, rook c8, you will see that for counterplay, Fabi plays this so quickly, b5, with the idea of b4 winning a piece, so king b1, and now notice that if you play b4, then I can at least wriggle out with bishop f6. So a5, keeping the pressure, h3, bishop goes back, they trade, and now f5 played by Prag. Queen comes here and he goes e5, which gives black the advantage with knight d5 attacking the bishop. And after queen e2, he made a huge mistake. It's black to play and win. Let's see if you are able to find it. The most natural move feels take on c3. And it is a decent position, but it's not totally winning. White has e6 and the position is still possible for both sides to fight for. The best move is the amazing move knight f4, which Fabi finds, attacking the queen, threatening b4. Queen comes to g4 and now plays the pawn to b4. This is the beautiful move. And now let's go back to the game to see how it finishes. Prag captures the knight on f4 and Fabiano captures the bishop on c3. Now it's actually complicated. Rook c1, he goes rook b8. The better move was queen takes g2, but we'll analyze that later. b3, he goes a4 and Prag now plays b4. This is extremely risky and Fabi goes a3. He now isolates this pawn. Ooh, Prag goes e6. And now the game is almost over. Queen to c5, a beautiful move, threatening rook b4. The king comes to a1. And you can see that Prag knows the writing is on the wall. Rook takes b4, taken. Queen goes back to g3. And now c2 played with many threats, check, and Prag resigns. Fabiano Caruana manages to win the game. I want to show you a beautiful line that actually was missed by both the players. It was very pretty. So after b takes c3, rook c1, you can by the way see Prag is terribly unhappy with what has transpired. Here there was an insane move, which was instead of rook b8 that Fabi played queen g2, threatening a mate and the rook. The only move is rook h2. But now comes the move c2, king a1, rook d1. Oops, sorry, first not rook d1. First take the rook. Queen takes and now rook d1. Threatening this, so you have to defend it. The only move is queen f4. And now comes this beautiful move. By the way, rook c d8 doesn't work because of b4 and king b2. So you go rook to c4, attacking here, queen e3, rook e4, queen g5, h6, and you've taken away all the squares from the queen and you win the game.
Fabi, in the interview yesterday, you mentioned that you're kind of sick and you had to spend like 14 hours at some point in bed. Congratulations on winning against Prague, such a critical game.
Yeah, it's a very important win. I mean, with the black pieces, of course, I thought maybe Prague will go for a big fight. It's always can happen. I mean, he's super ambitious, and it was his chance to fight for the first place in the tournament. And I was under pressure in the opening. I think at least he was playing faster. He needed position. He was in his prep. But then at some point he had to bail out with a draw, and he didn't do it. He continued to play, and that was the start of things going downhill for him. So yeah, it's a very important victory. Of course, I'm always happy to beat a top player.
Did e4 on the 14th move come as a surprise to you?
No, not really a surprise. It was just one of the moves I was thinking of after rook d8. I mean, it's a logical move. I was also thinking he might play f4 or king b1 or something like that. He can always make like different moves. Like it's not a concrete position. I can always make many different moves too. So, but e4 was one of the moves I considered after rook d8.
Where do you think Prague finally went wrong? Was it after like f5 or?
Well, f5 was the start. I mean, after the game, he said, "Okay, I should just play queen b3," and that's a draw. And I think, I mean, of course, we both saw that immediately that it was a draw. But I was perfectly happy with that, and he still was trying to push me, which I understand. It's sometimes the downside of having the white pieces is that you always keep a little bit too much ambition sometimes. So while I was very chill about the position and the game, he was still trying to push the advantage, and then he played f5, queen c6, and it started to get dangerous. I still think rook c1 here, he would have been able to hold on without any issues. So I would say the bigger problem came when he played e5, and then it starts to get quite dangerous.
Did you spot the knight f4 thing instantly?
No, not instantly. I mean, first, of course, I was thinking knight c3, but I really didn't like that. I thought that, like, his king is not, my pawns are covering his king somehow. His king is not open, so I really felt like he should draw that position. And then knight f4, at first I just didn't believe it. It felt very weird to put the knight on, like I'm attacking his bishop. Instead I put it on an undefended square, kind of offside. But then after I started to calculate, like each line seemed to work. It was very surprising. And it turns out everything does work. Yeah, it was one of those really nice things in chess is when all the variations work in your favor. It doesn't happen often. But this time, yeah, after knight f4, just every variation I calculated, it kind of confirmed that this is the right move.
And the day before yesterday, on the rest day, you also play against Ali Reza. You also won the game. And how was the experience playing in that kind of setup?
Strange experience, of course. I understand why it was necessary. But to play, first of all, to play in a room with one other person alone is already kind of strange because you don't have the tournament atmosphere of other games going on and the things that we're used to. But then the other thing is, of course, that he's wearing a cast and he's in a bed. Yeah. So it's a very weird atmosphere. At the start of the game, because I often play casual blitz games in hotel rooms, it felt like a casual blitz game. You know, I thought I was like playing my trainer, basically, some three-minute chess. So I had to get out of the mindset to just like rush all the moves. Yeah, interesting, definitely. Probably not something that will ever happen again in my chess career. Eventually I got used to it. I mean, it was not, like, I was also feeling terrible that day, so it wasn't a comfortable game. I think we were both physically not at our best at all.
How are you looking forward to the last two games of this tournament?
Yeah, I'll try to take it easy because they're very important, but I don't know what is necessary from the last two games, you know. It's a good situation. It's much better than I could have expected. I wasn't really thinking about winning this tournament before today. I mean, I'm a point out of the lead and I have two blacks. It's very unlikely, but now, of course, it's, you know, everything is to play for.